Hello, I've arrived. Artist, archivist, future man, and tonight, Alchemist. You can call me Tiberius Vanderfield. Hello, hello. Yes, so, I've returned. So yeah, we've been having I had some technical difficulties today. And I know that, well, yes, I should more specifically say, I had some technical difficulties with OBS today. Not 100% sure what was necessarily the cause of that. It said something to me about possibly being due to video drivers. So I reinstalled my GPU drivers, and things are working now. At the very least, it will allow me to stream where it did not do so before. So I'm assuming that things are okay. But yeah, some of my settings also seem to have gotten changed a little bit in some of the shuffling around. Part of that was due to me trying to adjust my broadcast settings to see if I could maybe get around the issue or try to figure out what the issue was. So things might look a little bit different. Hopefully they shouldn't look substantially different. But yeah, as for other things, I know we've been having some technical difficulties with Atelier Yumia previously, so hopefully that will also not be true going forward. But yeah, I did adjust some other things as well to try and see if I can make that not happen, the frame rate issues we were having. But I haven't had time to test it, so... Or I should say I haven't taken the time to test it. But yes, so, as we got started late, I will be streaming for a shorter time than usual. Yeah, we'll still go to the usual time, but, you know, we're an hour late, so we are going to be naturally not streaming for quite as long. But yes, so, let's see. Other than that, yeah, I know I discussed on Twitter potentially reducing my streaming schedule, and I think that, I don't know, this week at the very least I should be able to do 5 streams without issue. Yeah, I should be able to go through Saturday without issue. Yeah, that might not necessarily be the case every week, and I might need to cancel streams without, yeah, I don't know, I might need to cancel them without too much prior notice if I find that I'm getting behind on other tasks. But it is what it is. But yes, let's see. Other than that... Oh, right, so, schedule. So, having established, I'm going to be streaming today through Saturday. All things going well, of course. The stream tonight will be Atelier Yumia. Then on... today is Tuesday. Wednesday, roughly around 8:30 p.m. Central Time, you should be seeing some more Arc Nights. Thursday, around 9:30 or 9 p.m. Central Time, we shall see. You should be seeing some more Atelier Yumia. Friday, I think I've been meaning to play Meek and the Witch's Mountain. At least I think that's what I was aiming for last Friday. Or I don't know. That's what I was planning on the last week that I streamed, I think. But I don't think I streamed on that Friday. Anyway. I think I'm going to play Guilty Gear this week, one way or the other. Yes. Then on Saturday, you should be seeing some more Arc Nights. There we go. So yeah. So again, all streams, most streams you should expect around 8:30 p.m. Central Time. Then the Thursday and Friday streams, you should expect around 9:30 p.m. Central Time. But again, I'm going to see about starting as early as 9 p.m., if at all possible. It definitely should be. I've definitely gotten better about getting things done efficiently to be able to make that time. So we will see. So yes. So, other than that, yeah, nothing else that needs to be said urgently, I suppose. I suppose none of this is tremendously urgent, but all of that is to say that there shouldn't be anything else that I want to say before we get into things. So let's get into things. Alright. So yes. So, as I recall, last time around we learned a little bit about the siblings Yeah. Oh. Oh dear, what on earth? This is... Okay, I don't... Alright, so yeah, we are just kind of in a fight, suddenly, for no obvious reason. Hopefully we can resolve that issue. Alright, alright. This slowed... Oh, okay. I was gonna say, this slowdown is going on for a long time. I had switched into healing mode, I suppose. Anyway, this is less than ideal. I don't think there's anything I can do at this point. Right, we can just leave. Okay, let's leave. Alright. So, let's take a moment to get my bearings. Jump up a cliff here. That looks like a creature that could be dangerous. So. Okay, where was I? Pardon, I completely lost my train of thought there. Yeah, I don't know why we spawned directly into a battle. I've never seen that happen before. I didn't even know that it could happen. Anyway, so let's take a nap real quick. Let's take a nap real quick, and then I will try to regain whatever composure I once possessed. Okay, anyway. So yes. So I'm not noticing any particular issues. Oh, nope, we're definitely... Ooh, actually, we're having worse frame rate issues than before, I think. At the very least, we did for a moment there. I guess this is kind of a test stream at this point. Maybe I should title it as such. Yeah, I don't necessarily intend to make a whole lot... I didn't necessarily intend to make a whole lot of story progress in the first place. But yeah, it definitely seems like we are still getting some frame rate issues, which is less than ideal. Yeah, especially because I had made some changes to some of my system settings previously, and I had suspected that those changes maybe contributed to this issue, but I reverted them and we're still having the issues, so it seems like that didn't necessarily solve anything. Let's see. Is there anything else that seems to be amiss? Nothing seems wrong. I'm not using, like, an unusual amount of system resources on any front. Actually, am I... Let's see. I don't think I would have any settings that would be causing issues. Because, yeah, again, the frame rate issues do seem to be purely within the game. And I'm not having the frame rate issues on the computer that's actually playing the game. Yeah, so again, the issue is somewhere in the connection, which is interesting. Is there anything I could do? Anything? Alright, I've changed some settings on the capture card, right, on the capture in OBS. Yeah, it doesn't seem like... Yeah, again, the frame rate issues have not been necessarily 100% consistent. Like, it hasn't been happening 100% of the time. So it's possible that we're just not seeing them right now, but it doesn't... I'm definitely not noticing them where I was previously, so... Hopefully, hopefully we're fine now. I was gonna say, I guess this has always been here, but we just never discovered it previously. I guess there's a lot of locations that are undiscovered, right? Because I was thinking that we had explored this place more thoroughly, but no, we went out to this area and explored it last time, right? Okay. Yeah, so again, it does look like we're still getting a little bit of frame issues. So yeah, again, it doesn't seem to be an issue with OBS itself because we're outputting, like it's saying that we're not dropping any frames. I have dropped some frames, but I think that was largely just due to me changing some settings there. Yeah, because again, my movements are perfectly smooth. Actually, maybe I should look into... see if there's something up with the way that my main PC, the PC that I'm playing the game on... I wonder if there's an issue with how that is outputting. But again, what would cause that? I guess it doesn't really matter what is causing it. The problem is that it is happening at all. So if it is happening, we need to make it not happen. Alright, I'm not noticing anything. I'm not noticing anything that would be causing issues. Maybe I should test this with some other games as well. I don't know. I don't want to switch off of Atelier Yumia though right now. But again, if we're trying to test, well, okay. I don't know. It's fine. I will live with it, and we will do some more testing later, I think. Because I didn't set out for this to be a test stream. I intended for this to just be the stream. So I think I'd rather just have it be the stream. And if we have dedicated some of the stream to testing, then it is what it is. And yeah, I might... Oh, that was... Okay, we definitely had some pretty serious frame rate issues there. Very strange. Okay. Well, again, I've said that I'm going to live with it, so I'm going to live with it. I'll spend some more time working on that tomorrow, I think. Alright. So yes. So, what was I planning on doing? Right, I was thinking about doing some more pioneering. So, what do we need to do? We need to use strike arts. Yes. Other than that, mossy forest relic. Need to synthesize an ingot. And we need to make a few different types of furniture. Rooftop campsite and grassy campsite. Yeah, I think we can probably, you know, combine these to some extent. Synthesize ingots. Do we have the recipe for ingots? I think we do. Yes. So the clifftop campsite and then the grassy campsite. Is this? Ah, okay. So that must be the grassy campsite, and that must be the clifftop campsite. Well, fortunately, we're pretty close to those. Though the clifftop campsite is... okay, it doesn't look like it's that far away. Or does it look like it's that high up? I was thinking that I might have to get all the way up top of that cliff in order to get over to it. I don't think this is necessarily going to be a very sound route, but it should get us there. And that's all you really need sometimes. Alright, up we get. Here we are. So yes, let's start building. So, can we, right, we can make these. Okay. Alright, rotate it a little bit. I guess we don't necessarily need to place it neatly, but... And I guess that resolves our issue, but... If we're here, we might as well do the other things that it was asking. So one of them was a hanging bouquet. Which would be... I guess these seem to be exterior pieces. Okay, these are walls. And the hanging bouquet presumably goes on a wall. Well, I'm assuming it goes on a wall. That isn't necessarily true. It could also hang from the ceiling, I suppose. Alright, it's in the... Okay. It does go on a wall. So we might need a wall in order to... Oh. Okay, we don't need to actually make it. We don't need to place it, we just need to make it. Okay. Yes, so then what was the other thing? Okay, a stool and the grassy campsite. I'm not too attached to any of these locations, so I don't think I'm going to place much of any real consequence here or there. But yeah. So another thing that I was doing in my off time is I've mentioned before that I felt like the combat was a little bit too easy. Yeah, I mentioned that I felt like the combat was a little bit too easy, so I did experiment around with increasing the difficulty. And I wonder... Yes, it is still on very hard. So yeah, so very hard I feel like was a little bit too hard for my taste. And probably that's why we got so thoroughly obliterated in that battle. Yeah, we might have just been at low health already. I forgot that I had saved after I had started my combat testing. But yes. I'd forgotten that I had saved after that. Yeah, so I probably was just at low health anyway. Yeah, one way or the other, like I said, I feel like very hard was a little bit harder than I would like. So hopefully hard will be okay. Oops. Alright, building. Might as well place down the stool that we just made. I don't know if we can actually sit on this, but, you know, we can have it here. We can, in fact, sit. Very nice. So if you ever want to relax in the shade on a sunny day of exploration, this is a nice little spot. Honestly, they may not be super practical necessarily, but setting up some campsites in nice locations could be fun. This is leading me somewhere. Oh, is that? Is it leading me to an enemy? Where is it leading otherwise? Was it leading me to an enemy, or did that enemy just happen to be in the way? Okay. Alright, I'm not sure what to make of that. Oh well. Alright, whoop. And item. I want to try to remember to use these a little bit more, especially if the combat's going to be a little bit more difficult now. Yeah, another realization I came to is that I should probably be using my items a little bit more regularly. Because again, there's not really any need to reserve uses of items or anything like that. The most important thing I can really do is, you know, always keep my cooldowns on cooldown, so to speak. Alright, Yumia's debuff. She's not in any particular danger. She is debuffed. Yes. Right, so, yeah, swap out. Alright. There we go. Yeah, I think I want to get back into melee range. Whoops. Yeah, try to build up some more piles, and then deploy them. Alright, very good. Alright. So, that doesn't seem to have accomplished anything, but we did do it, so. Is this leading me to a quest or something? No, because I don't think I have anything else tracked. Range. Because, yeah, this looks like the sort of trails that would appear if we have a shrine or something active. But I don't think there are any around here. Hold on. This person seems to be in some trouble. Do you have anything to do with this shining line? Seems you have something to do with the beaver. Maybe we should help with that. Yeah, I should probably also be a little bit more mindful of defense. Alright. I suppose one thing to keep in mind is that I definitely shouldn't necessarily be as eager to use up all of the cooldowns on my... Oops. Yeah, shouldn't be as eager to use up all the cooldowns on my items. Because I do need those to... Yeah, I do need those in order to use team actions. I can never thank you enough. Please accept this as a token of my gratitude. Not a problem. Very nice. Excellent bandage. Ooh. But yes. Ah, okay. That is one of the challenges, I think. Let me scan that just to make sure. Okay, so yes. I don't necessarily think that, especially since I'm still getting used to the higher difficulty. I don't think I'm necessarily going to try to take that on, considering that we did not do great the last time we tried one of them. So yes. So, we did get the message that we need to check in with Erhard to get the next level of our... I don't know why I'm walking there. When I could fast travel. But yes, we do need to go and get the... talk to Erhard to get the next level of our pioneering effort. Actually, is this... am I progressing the main story by accident? I think I am. Oh well.
あの姿を忘れた日などありません。奴は3年前、我が家の領地を踏み荒らしたものです。決して捨ておくわけにはいきません。必ず僕たちの手で倒します。重々わかっていると思うが、あまり流行るなよ、ビクトル。
Unfortunately, we do have a job to do.
奴らの正体も目的もまだ何もわかっちゃいない。
Also, the creature could be quite dangerous, I suppose, yes.
確実に仇を取るためにもな。肝に銘じておきます。
I am taking note of the fact that Victor said that he'll keep that in mind. Not necessarily that he's going to comply with what was said, but he's going to keep it in mind.
どうだ？ユミヤとはうまくやってるか？
Yes, things have been working out quite well with us. Oh, well. It seems Victor doesn't quite change, or doesn't quite share my feelings.
錬金術に関わる何かだと彼女は言っていました。そう簡単に受け入れられるものではないです。でも彼女は自分が不利になるようなことを隠さず言った。
I just noticed Victor has some scarring on his right arm there.
その気持ちは理解しました。やっぱりお前とアイラをユミヤの監視につけたのは正解だったな。 お前たちは境遇も年も近い。だからこそいろんな感情を分かち合いやすいと思ってな。同じ事故の被災者だからですか？それだけじゃないが、詳しい話は本人に聞いてみればいい。ま、平たく言えばだ。俺は
Interesting to hear.
お前たち若者どもに心通った仲になってほしいわけよ。
I would also like for us to become close friends. That'd be nice.
まったく難しいことを言う。
Well, I mean, you say that, but Yumi and Isla are hitting it off pretty well, I'd say. Yes, Isla's very much in the same boat as everyone else is here, but... Or rather, she's in the same boat as Victor, I should say. She's not in the same boat as Yumia, because Yumia is in the boat that uses alchemy, and Isla is not.
一体の高濃度マナが晴れたことで調査できる範囲が広がったからな。
I wonder if we should do some more... I guess, yeah, we do need to do some more base building. Anyway, I shouldn't get too distracted in cutscenes. I have a bad habit of that. That implies something is different, then. Okay, so that is something that has stayed the same, presumably. Or at least to some extent. Alright, that is our expertise.
Victor, Ida, support 頼んだぞ。目的地の名前はマルゴ中央観測施設。
Let's see.
錬金術師も所属していたそうだ。
Yeah, we definitely... We are definitely a little bit low on HP. Maybe I am getting a little bit ahead of myself with the difficulty still. The difference between normal and hard might be a little bit more than I was expecting. Gotta pet the dog. But yes. That, or I need to be a little bit more mindful of how I play, probably. Another thing that would be good is probably giving some more equipment to my team, because right now we just sort of have the basic gear that we started with. I think we might have found one item. Didn't I remove these? Maybe I'll put them back on at some point. Yeah. They do give us some stats. They give us actually some fairly decent stats. Yeah, we might want to go and mess with our gear a little bit as well if I want to be playing on a higher difficulty. Yeah. Well, I don't expect to be doing a lot of fighting right now, so we don't necessarily need to change it right now. Now, one other thing I might want to experiment with is changing my settings a little bit. Well, no, actually. I was going to say I looked into that last time, and that didn't seem to change anything, so we'll keep it as is. Yeah, again, I'm pretty sure that the frame rate issues are some sort of issue with the... capture. And I'll just need to look into that. But yes. So, let's see. Our special connection. Well, if we're going to be trying to become close friends, it looks like maybe looking into our special connection could be good on that front. But, other things to be looked into as well. Alright, there's a lot to do. The question is what I want to do first. But again, I was sort of thinking about doing the pioneering effort, so I think we'll keep up with that idea. Let's see. Actually, we were meaning to also... I think we were supposed to talk to Erhard to do something with the pioneering effort. Unless I was... I don't know. I thought that was the case. But then well, I don't know. I got confused as to whether the cutscene had something to do with that, or not necessarily whether it had something to do with that, but I wasn't sure if the game was telling me to return to Earhart just because that was what we needed to do to progress the story, or if that's what we needed to do to get our next level of progression. Now then, let's see your report. Okay, so it looks like both. We just happened to walk in at a inopportune time. Yes. Ligneous regions, shop trading unlocked, special building warehouse unlocked. Alright. I don't know what either of those mean. Looks like there's been some progress towards our pioneering goals. Nice work. Alright, selecting and placing a storehouse on the base construction screen will allow you to expand the capacity of your container. Storage increases for each storehouse you have. Progressing through pioneering quests will allow for some items to be returned when all party members are knocked out. Okay. So, and it looks like we've also gotten we got some new goals and we've already achieved them. So we've actually, yeah, we've already reached our next level of progression. That means that we can finally get the recipe for a lure. That means we can go fishing. Alright. The fishing will occur. Alright, so that, I guess that's what you get if you do a whole lot of thorough exploring. Alright, so, you can fish at fishing spot locations. Button prompts will appear at random while you are fishing. Press them quickly to reel in various ingredients. To fish, you must have a lure, which can be crafted via simple synthesis. Alright. So, I know that we've seen a fishing spot before. We've seen a fishing spot before. Here we are. Yes. Lures are pretty easy to make, and they are made in fairly high quantity. Alright. So, let's see where fishing can occur. Might this be such a place? Yes, it is. Okay. So that did not work. What? Okay. So yeah, when it said button prompts will occur at random, I had assumed that it would prompt me with a button, like a specific button. But yes, no, it just sort of seems that when the icon, or when the particle effect flashes above her head, then you can reel it in. Very simple minigame, this. I can appreciate that. Well, it also seems that she fishes with her staff, which is interesting. I suppose we don't use... Yeah, we craft lures. Is this spot exhausted? It seems like so. Yes, we craft lures, and not, you know, rods or anything like that. So it makes sense that we need to have something to fish with. Or at least something to attach the lure to, I should say. Yeah, so that's more or less what I was expecting to spend most of the stream working towards, fishing. Maybe not that specifically, but just sort of getting further into our pioneering effort, which would then, ideally, culminate in fishing. Alright, tell me about our special connection. Perhaps them being the same is the issue. Yeah, you've got a notch on your little ribbon there. Ayla has the passion for fashion. You know what? Let's stay stylish. No reason not to.
調査団の一員としてちゃんとしなきゃです。ほらね、やっぱりありえない。
We cannot get sloppy on our appearances.
とにかく直すから。
Uh-oh.
その服貸して。
Alright.
そうだろうか。調査団たるもの。
I suppose again, the actual line is not necessarily the most important thing in the world.
だがアイラ、この間布が足りないと言っていなかったか。
I can make some cloth.
そうだった。完全に忘れてた。用意しようか。
I wasn't necessarily expecting Yumia to exactly
作ってくれるってこと？
exactly mirror my sentiment. Alright, looks like we're doing some crafting as well.
誰かが必要としているならなおさら。
アイラも裁縫に熱中すると食事さえ忘れるくらいだからな。
Yes, one other thing I've noticed is how the members of the investigation team have a little red ribbon tied around each of their arms. Yeah, I noticed that with Victor and Erhard earlier, and then I just noticed now noticed it with Yumia and Ayla as well.
そうそう。意外と似てるのかも。私たちって。
Yeah, I wonder if that is true of more members of the, like if that's true of the generic members as well. Oh, it is. So yeah, so that seems to be part of the uniform, I suppose. So yes, so suppose we'll head back to the atelier. And while we're here, well, I was gonna say, while we're here, we'll look for Victor, but it looks like Victor found us. Yeah, I also like how our team has little distinctions in their ribbons. For instance, Victor's here has a little notch in it, like I pointed out. Yumia's is quite damaged. I wasn't looking too closely at Ayla's, but it didn't seem to have any particular issues with it, which is in keeping with her characterization so far. Yeah. Now, I just noticed that show terms prompt there. I guess you can get a more thorough definition of certain things. Very dedicated. Oh, tell me about alchemy. Magical art which reconstructs materials by gathering recollected memories into a recipe and offering up ingredients. One must have the ability to manipulate mana in order to perform alchemy. As alchemy is taboo in the current era, there are no openly practicing alchemists or even publicly available documents on the subject. So yes, so that is information that we already had, of course, but I didn't expect it to tell us anything that we didn't already know, more or less. Yeah, it's an interesting feature. I've never seen a game allow you to do this sort of thing, other than, like, well, no. Yeah, I was going to say other than something, but I didn't really have any... Actually, I guess Civilization, the Civilopedia, is a similar sort of... Well, I was going to say it doesn't pop up in dialogue in Civilization, but there's not really a whole lot of dialogue in Civilization. Not really outside of menus, anyway. But yeah. So there's not any other game that I've seen that has... Yeah, I've seen other games that have sort of glossaries and whatnot. Yeah, little collections of information about the game. But not any games that have the ability to pull up definitions of terms used in the game mid-dialogue. Yes. Nothing new here. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I was thinking earlier. I was wondering if, if mana-bound areas affected creatures, like animals and whatnot, wild animals. But yeah, this would seem to suggest that it does not, because it says intelligent life. So yeah, so that would explain why it doesn't affect monsters and why it doesn't affect plants and whatnot. So that's a little bit of information. Again, it's stuff that we more or less already suspected, if not necessarily knew. But information is information.
つまり現状、調査団で誰よりも貢献しているのは僕たち騎士団じゃない。君なんだ。
I'm glad that Victor is trying at least to be appreciative.
そんな君を無下に否定するのも正しいとは思えない。少なくとも僕にはそんなことできない。
ありがとうございます。よかったです。
Yeah, he has his doubts, but he's willing to set them aside for when it matters.
そうだよな。僕も少し君への配慮が足りていなかったみたいだ。今はなるべく君自身を見て判断するようにしてるよ。答えはまだ出しきれないが。
I don't know that he would respond well to this, but it does sound very funny to ask if he is interested in Yumia romantically. I'm not going to, though.
私個人ですか？そっちのが自信ないかもな。
I don't know. I suppose if we're...
そんなことないさ。
I don't know. Doesn't matter that much.
君は僕の目から見ても悪いやつじゃない。
Yeah, again, I don't know if any of these are going to be terribly relevant. So we'll just go with whatever I feel like.
そういう姿勢はとても好ましく思えるよ。
お、直球な。
Maybe not the best camera angle here.
どうした？
いや、そういう人なんですねと思っただけです。
どういうことだ？
ほんと真面目な人。
Alright. We have completed a quest for Victor. I don't know what we did for him, but we completed a quest for him, so. Cloth. We're gonna make cloth. Nope, that's not how we make cloth. Do I have the ability to make cloth is one question. Rather, do I have the knowledge of how to do so? Yes, I do. Okay. Alright. So yes. So we do have an ad coming up. Yeah, and I don't think I'm going to be able to delay it to the end of stream, so I think I'm just going to let it run. And in the meantime, or I'm going to start it early, and in the meantime I'm going to be doing the cloth synthesis, and then I will rejoin you afterwards. I have returned. So yes, while we were doing this, by the way, I just decided to make essentially the bare minimum cloth we could. Yeah, just the most basic I could, single ingredient and no other thought put into it. Yeah, because I figured the quest didn't request any particularly high quality cloth, so I figured we don't necessarily need it. Anyway. So yeah, one thing I noticed, I decided to look at the quest screen to confirm that we didn't have any need for cloth of any particular quality. And I noticed that the quest descriptions are actually written in first person from Yumia's perspective, which is interesting. Yeah, they're quite thorough, in fact. Yeah, a lot of them have like multiple descriptions for different sections of the quest, which is again very interesting. Yeah, I definitely have seen stuff like this before, but not something I see often. It's a nice little bit of additional detail that I appreciate. Yeah, anyway. Not terribly relevant right now, but I might go ahead and read through some of these in my own time. Again, just to get sort of a to see if there's any that I particularly want to mention. Because yeah, it's interesting to get a little bit of additional context as to Yumia's internal thoughts here. But yes, anyway. So we have our cloth, we have our quest. Let's go resolve both of those. Or let us resolve the latter with the former. But yes, I guess this is the closest. No, this would probably be the most convenient fast travel location. Anyway. I'm going the wrong way. Right, I need to go across the bridge. Right. Okay. There we are. Yeah, looking through that reminds me a little bit of, there's some similarities, yeah. I know that in the Japanese version of Breath of the Wild, the quest descriptions and whatnot in your journal are also written from Link's perspective in first person, whereas they are not in the English version, which is an interesting change. Yeah, that's something I learned about a while ago, and that I always it feels a little bit like a shame to me. It feels a little bit disappointing to know that we don't have this sort of direct line into what Link is thinking. That's it. Again, it's flavor text more or less, but I like flavor text. If you've seen the a bit of a Ni no Kuni playthrough, and you know that I love flavor text. We had some streams that were probably about 50% flavor text, possibly more so. Anyway, Isla. I think I didn't have any cloth. Me of all people. Well, I have cloth. I have much cloth for you. Yes, we have the very lowest quality possible cloth that I could give you. Have fun. I don't know, this feels a little bit mean, but if the game doesn't track it, then there's no reason not to use our cloth on more valuable prospects, like things that will protect our lives. Yes, equipment and whatnot. Now looking at Isla's armband, hers is actually two colors. Yeah, there's a red one. Yeah, red one and a white one interwoven with each other. Not interwoven, but tied together, rather. Yes, this is going to be a detail I look for in every character that joins our party at this point, I imagine. Actually, I'm seeing some traces of white in Yumia's as well. Gotta get that style. Style goes for miles. It looks like this might be getting a little bit intense for Yumia. Alright, quest is complete. Yes, so, we got some blueprints there as well. But yeah, I think we've made, we haven't really made any progress, but we've spent, the amount of time that I intended to spend on the stream. Yes. We spent some time looking into things, we spent some time thinking about the playthrough, we spent some time trying to do a little bit of testing to figure out the frame rate issue, and not necessarily succeeding, but we tried. So, that is what it is. And for the first stream back after quite a while, I'd say that this stream went pretty well. Yeah. Definitely usually more, yeah, it is definitely, yeah, what's the word I'm looking for? It is usually more difficult to get back into things after a break. There. So yes. So, with that, it is time to wrap up though. So, as per usual, if anyone has any raid suggestions, I would be delighted to hear them. If not, I can find a target on my own. And so, with that, yeah, I'll go over the schedule. Yes, so today has been Atelier Yumia, the Alchemist of Memories in the Envisioned Land. Tomorrow should be some more Arknights. Wednesday. Thursday should be another Atelier Yumia stream. Friday should be a Guilty Gear Strive stream. Then Saturday should be another Arknight stream. So yes, all of the streams except for the Thursday and Friday stream you can expect around 8:30 p.m. Central Time. Thursday and Friday you can expect around 9 p.m. but I'm going to, or sorry, 9:30 p.m. but I'm going to try to aim for 9:30 going forward, if at all possible. But yes. So yeah, so again, I've been doing a little bit of background work on stuff related to streaming. Yeah, I might have another little project to start up here in the not too distant future. We shall see though. But yeah, I think for right now, I might, well, we'll see. I think, yeah, basically I'm thinking about adding another project. I already said that, I suppose, but adding another project to our schedule, and I think rather than necessarily increasing the number of days that I am streaming, probably it'd be more likely that I would replace one of the streaming days. But it's not going to happen next week, in short, so we don't need to worry about it immediately. We will get there when we get there. But yeah, so again, I've also started thinking seriously again about working on assets a little bit. Because again, we've been running placeholder assets for 4, 5 years. I don't even remember how long I've been streaming at this point. A while. It's been a while. And, you know, the background here is something that I just sort of slapped together within like 30 minutes of like my first stream, I think, or not necessarily my first stream, but my first stream with this scene in it, at the very least, which I don't think was my first one, because I think my first one was just all took place on the game screen, which was also a placeholder asset. This one is also a placeholder asset, incidentally. I do intend to fix it up a little bit more. But yeah, anyway, so I've been thinking about that a bit. I'm getting off topic. We're going to get ready for a raid. Well, we can do that in a second. But yeah, again, been working on a few things. Yeah, been working on a few things. Been experimenting with some settings, trying to see if we can figure out the issues. Again, I hadn't been working on that too much, and I had hoped that it was as simple as just reverting the changes I made, but it seems that there's something else at work here that needs to be looked into. But yes. So. What else is there to say? Nothing else that I can really think about. So, I suppose then, not seeing any raid suggestions, so I think tonight we're going to go and visit Ven, Silvageka, who is playing some Monster Hunter Wilds. Yes, Monster Hunter Wilds. So yeah, so I don't know what part of the game that they are in necessarily. But yeah, so if anyone here is trying to avoid Monster Hunter spoilers, you might want to keep that in mind. But yes, the monster that Ven is currently fighting is definitely a monster that has appeared in it is a monster from previous games. And I don't think it's one that is any sort of surprise that it's in the game. Let's see, what was its name again? Nursilla, I think? Yeah. I believe this is Nursilla. Yeah, I remember Nursilla quite fondly. I enjoyed fighting it, but I don't remember the name all that well. Anyway, so got the raid set up, got everything ready. So yeah, again, I'm definitely pleasantly surprised at how relatively not rusty I was getting into this. Yeah. So, the customary raid message is, as always, we have arrived. And so yes. So yeah, so again, I'm going to keep doing some more work to see if I can figure out the issue. But one way or another, yeah, tonight's stream is wrapped up. So if I want to get working on that, I should probably get on with the raid so I can get on with the business. So, thank you all for being here tonight. I hope that you have had a fine night. I hope that you will continue to have a fine night every night. And I hope that you'll be well until the next time I see you. Thank you all very much, and farewell. Let us get this raid underway.